What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. Exciting stuff today. The biggest day for Marvel Snap, really, since launch, is now live. And we've got loads to break down today. We have Conquest, Marvel Snap's newest game mode, everything you need to know before you hop in, the monthly balance change that includes a Galactus Nerf, and much more. Now, obviously, guys, we got to start with Marvel Snap's newest game mode, the first game mode in Conquest. Now, this is going to be different than Rank, and there's a lot of information to digest. So I'm going to try to condense it down, really just telling you guys everything you need to know before hopping in. And let's do one of those cool timer things. I'll teach you everything in less than, 5 minutes. Conquest pits two opponents against each other through multiple rounds, each player starting with 10 health. And instead of cubes, what's at stake is the amount of damage the winner will deal to the loser. If you deplete your opponent's health to 0 or they just give up, you're going to win. Sounds easy enough, right? However, this is going to change the way you play entirely. Knowing your opponent's deck is going to matter so much more as you play the same opponent in the same deck. Bluffing, retreating, and being unpredictable all get turned up to 11. Overall, guys, like from the battle modes I've played and tournaments I participated in, I can tell you the mind games are so much more intense. The snapping, every decision, it's a lot different. Now, Conquest is free to enter. We have multiple tiers that you can play in, ramping up the competition, each tier, the challenge, and the rewards. Now, your Conquest usually will start at Proving Grounds. It's free to enter, and this will be the bloodbath of the newest game mode. There's no stakes. So this will be a good place to test out decks with, nothing to lose, new strategies, and overall, you're going to try your best to get Silver Conquest tickets to ramp up the competition, and you'll earn 15 medals. Next up, we have the Silver Conquest, and this will be entered with the ticket you just earned from Proving Grounds, or you can use 80 gold to bypass that, and simply, entering Silver will net you more medals than winning Proving Grounds. Although I don't recommend this, right? Because buying into this doesn't make you a better player, and then you might just lose right away. So perfect your deck in Proving Grounds and then go right into this. Next up, we have the Gold Conquest, which is going to be some of the hardest competition that Snap has to offer. Now, you'll need to win 3 battles in a row, but you'll claim the rewards and you can net yourself up to 370 medals and an infinity ticket. And the medals are broken down by wins that you can see below. Now, finally, on the last week of the season for the Elite, we have the Infinity Conquest, which will be by far the hardest competition Snap has to offer. Now, for the few that manage to win, not only will you be rewarded just handsomely with the following loot and medals, but also an exclusive infinity border for the avatar you just won with. Now, it's unlikely, but there's no cap here. It's just bragging rights with visuals, right? So you can get an infinite number of these infinity borders for your avatars, and I think it'll be cool if they could switch this up from season to season, being something different cosmetically. Now, for some side notes, guys, essentially tickets and medals can both stack infinitely, right? So the top players are probably going to gather a ton of gold tickets, but you can get as many silver tickets as you want, maybe doing the Proven Grounds a few times, so you have a nice stack. If you do lose, you can go right back in. And I expect some of the top players to do this for the Gold Conquest going into the Infinite Conquest to prepare for the last week of the season. Now, yes, both missions and boosters will be rewarded in Conquest. You can get boosters equal to the number of turns during the battle. So if you had 5 games with 6 turns each, you're going to get 30 boosters. Now, with all this loot that you just got from Conquest, let's talk about the reward shop. I've made it easy to understand just how many times you have to win and or what medals you're going to need to get the weekly offerings. This will be the new reward shop, and as you can see, each week you'll have 3 new offerings as a one-time purchasable reward, leading all the way up to week 4, where you can buy boosters infinitely with the medals you've earned. Now, this Conquest will be a little different. It's already week 2. Most of them will start in week 1. So there's 2 sets of rewards. And this is how many conquests you'll need to beat and achieve to get the tickets and medals required. Now, from week 1, all you need to do is go from the Proving Grounds all the way to gold. This will get you exactly enough medals. But also 3 silvers and 3 Proven Grounds can do the same thing. You have 700 medals to get the week 2 rewards, which is, again, 1 path to gold and 2 silver wins. Now, week 4, I don't expect a lot of people to be able to get this, but you have 2,150 medals if you wanted everything, and that's around 4 Proven Grounds to gold in full completion, or obviously, if you're good enough to do the Infinity Conquest, you should get enough medals, no problem. Now, every Conquest has a season, and this season is the Green Goblin season. You can see boosters specific to the card, and this month's exclusive variant that you'll need 9 separate purchases to net you this exclusive variant. Now, the cheapest path to acquire this is 1,550 medals buying the things I've highlighted down below, which equals out to 3 wins from Proven Grounds to gold or 11 wins from Proven Grounds to silver. Now, at the end of the season, all the leftover medals you have, they're going to be converted to boosters for 1 card at a 2-to-1 ratio, or you can buy them infinitely and you can get different boosters for different cards. I will say this is what I hope they change going into next season. You know, put some variants down there, put some credits, just, you know, hike up the price. I'm fine with that. But for those that want to grind, I think this is a cool way to do so, especially if it's only cosmetics. All in all, guys, this is looking like a pretty firm foundation for the opening season of Conquest. Whether you just want to, like, test the deck out on proven grounds with no cubes at stake, you want to test your skill, grind medals, like, this is a pretty nice look, and it's looking pretty sick. Also, they can add draft mode, like, bigger rewards, and for content on my end, like, I can't wait to just have full videos of showing a deck, explaining the strategy, and then just taking it for a run and hopefully, you know, winning. Now, I know that was a lot to digest, but wait, there's more. We've got balance adjustments to 3 different cards to talk about, with the main headliner being Galactus. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the majority of people here probably hate Galactus. But for everyone that hates him, there is someone that loves the playstyle, and you can see that reflected in my graph here that I completely made up. No, they didn't delete him from the game, before you ask, okay? But they did have a nice middle ground adjustment. People bought him with tokens, people like the card, and I think they found a good solution. Time will tell. They have taken Galactus from a 6-2, and his on-reveal ability obviously being, if this is your only card here, destroy all other locations. He is now a 6-7, which looks like a buff, but now on reveal, if you're winning this location, and this is your only card here, then destroy all other locations. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what the hell does that even all mean? I'm going to say my thoughts in a second. First, I want you guys to hear from the devs. They state, Galactus is a card we've kept a close eye on since release. His ability warps the game, changing the goal for both players from claiming 2 locations to waging war around cards that counter him or his finishers and priority. We don't mind mixing things up a bit from time to time in that regard, but Galactus's play rate was moving past the thresholds we set to determine both competitive diversity, and also frequently the game gets reduced to that state. Because Galactus has so many counters, essentially, they waited to see if the metagame could sort itself out, but it hasn't, and Galactus's popularity has increased. His win rate has only grown, and many players don't even enjoy beating him, and these are problems worth solving. Now, I don't know what the hell that means. I feel like a friggin' champion every time I beat a Galactus deck that I don't have, like, counters for, or I outsmart the player, but I get what they're saying. They continue on saying the original design for Galactus is difficult to rebalance, and because it has essentially one value they can adjust, which is only power, they can't do much. If they lower power, that means that Galactus always loses priority, making post-Galactus counters like Shang-Chi and Enchantress difficult to play. But at the same time, if they increase it, it may let you beat these cards more naturally, especially Professor X. But either way, it's still just about counters. Now, ultimately, they've landed on what they have here, and that is that you need to be winning the location. And they said that they did this because it allows players to beat Galactus while keeping the core fun of Snap alive, and that is just power to locations. Most decks should be able to muster up 7 power, which is true. This is going to be all the cards that I kind of looked at, outside of like Silver Surfer and different things to proc it even higher, that can naturally beat Galactus. And remember, there's a lot of things that have to go right. Now, obviously, there was like turn 6 Galactus decks. People didn't play them as much, a bit more niche, but now you can definitely play that to more success. Probably going to be even better, which is fine. All decks need some kind of conditions to win, and they have to have a lot go right for that to happen. And OTAs can affect Galactus massively now. They can change 1 power point, and he still has to win that condition. So if they take him down to a 6, there's even more cards that can beat that power. So I think this is going to be a nice, like, healthy spot. So in short, like, the TLDR of all that is, he's easier to beat with the large majority of decks, and you don't have to rely on specific cards to beat him. It kind of fixes the problem with his design altogether. And what's great about it, too, is he's even better in specific builds. So if you enjoy the card and the playstyle, you can definitely learn that as well. If you have things go right, you just won't be dominating everything you go up against. But if you're looking for a deck to play with Galactus, this is probably something that I would try. I think it's going to be a pretty damn good deck. It'll be a little bit different than the build you're used to. And yes, you can still rely kind of on the Galactus and Spider-Man combo. Again, if you're able to beat that location and pull everything off. Overall, yeah, I think I like all this, right? If you're an extreme on one end, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to delete the card. And on the other side, if you want it to be as good as it has been, and it's just fine, obviously it's not. The balance team doesn't think so. So I think this is a good middle ground, and time will tell. Now, next up, we have a complete kit change for a character that has been dead. A card that has not been used since it came out in January, and that is Dazzler, who is going from a 4-4 with the ongoing effect of, if you have 4 cards at each location, she gains +6 power, to now a 3-2, interesting enough, but now she has an ongoing ability of +2 power for each location that is full on your side. You know, I've got to say the wait was worth it with this one. I think they nailed the design, and now we've got not only new homes for Dazzler, but plenty of ways to utilize her ability. It makes her a great surprise card, in my opinion, as well. Silver Surfer is going to love her. You can drop like Brood and her on the same turn, and then Silver Surfer, and that's like a huge burst of power on a lane or multiple lanes. That deck is pretty good at filling up locations as well because Storm isn't utilized as much with all the controlled decks at the moment. You have Space Throne that's going to work. That didn't work previously. You've got the Omega Red combo that was already pretty good with Ultron, but now just Patriot Ultron, Zoodex, and Sarah Miracle. So combine all this, I think she's going to be a pretty damn good card. Looking at the decks here, this is going to be a Silver Surfer build that I have with Dazzler. Overall, I do see Surfer probably being the best home because you have to do a lot to get her to a 3-8. In Silver Surfer, you can get her well past that. But I gotta say, it's definitely interesting. And I hope that the other cards that need love badly get the treatment like Dazzler. Now, lastly, Maria Hill, guys, is adjusted just slightly. They've taken her with the same stat line, but they've added that she now has the ability to add a random 1 or 2 cost card to your hand. So yeah, this isn't going to change her all that much. I think Quinjet now works a lot better with her, and there's some deck builds like Rocks and Hawks that I might start, slotting her in there. I kind of wish they made her like a 2-0, 2-1, and let you have Curve like a 3 and a 4 cost card, or 2 and a 3 or whatever, but I think this is good. I think this will be a decent change to her as a card altogether. You're going to be wanting things like Hitmonkey and Lizard, and you're probably going to get Bucky Barnes when you're not playing a Destroy deck, but that's just how it works out. Now, lastly, guys, if Conquest and balances aren't enough, we always get a little extra spice in these big patches, and this patch brought the following. We got new Token Shop Mystery Series 3 cards you can pull for 1,000 tokens, a random unowned Series 3 card at any time. We also got the next set of series drops as well as new weekend missions, which I think we're going to find out more on when the weekend comes. Now, it's that portion of the video that if you don't know by now, my goal is 100,000 subs by the end of June, and well, we're not going to hit that, most likely. But it is cool as we climb closer and closer to that goal, and I appreciate you guys if you hang out, and if you haven't already, I think about 55% of you guys have not subscribed, so it'd be cool if you take a second to click it right down below. Have a good one. Have a great one. Good luck out there in the new game mode, and happy snapping.